Malaysian, okay. Alhamdulillah. Okay. Assalamualaikum. Are we on?
Yes.
Okay. Assalamualaikum. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to our what's the number now?
Let me check. It should be 58.
Okay, 58 episode.
Yes.
58 episode of research methodology seminar series. Today we have live from CPR Penang, USM. We have a presentation from one who has been to hundreds of presentations. Was doing something special on Perantau. We'll hear from him. That's Mr. Hanif Abdurahman. And he'll be presenting on the multicentric model of CLCs, which is Community Learning Centers. Am I quoting it right? Oh yeah, basically that's right. So Hanif, the floor is yours. This time the camera should be pointing towards you.
Yes. Don't know if they can see.
If you need any help, tell me and I can type slides.
I think this.
Oh,
Yeah, standing will be even better. I think that'll be better.
I mean, put timer, but
Yeah,
practicing to.
sure. Yeah.
Okay, so Assalamualaikum and very good morning to everyone. So first of all, thank you to my supervisor to give this opportunity for me to present my pre-viva presentation, and also not to forget to my dear friends. So I'll straight directly to talk about my research, and first with my title. So my title is the Uncovering Multicentric Model in Educational Institutions for the Children of Indonesian Migrant Workers, the case of Sabah. So basically, this research is exploring the existence of educational institutions, particularly the community learning centers in Sabah that provide access to education for the children of Indonesian migrant workers. Next slide. Next slide is my table of content. So basically, these are my presentations. What I will present from the introduction to problem statement, business questions, and move on until the last is my conclusion. So from this background, so back then, before the colonization period, so Sabah was formerly known as Not Borneo. They were famous in forest product. So during the time of forest product, they used we call it the indigenous communities as well as the slavery system. And then when the colonization happened, second one. So the colonials, they introduced what we call it as colonial products, which are what we know as currently as the plantation estates, where they have palm oil plantation and other sectors, other kind of plantation agriculture products. So because of this existence of plantation estates, the indigenous communities do not have enough numbers of workers to support the need of I don't know why I keep my words like this.
Yesterday wasn't like this, thank God. No, the public lecture.
Yeah.
So it could be about
Because
the
at that time we don't use
Oh, it's okay now.
slideshow.
Oh, we did.
Yeah, so when we present, okay, never mind. Because the indigenous communities do not have enough numbers to support the need of the plantation estate to reach the required numbers of workers, so they introduce the import labor. So they introduce import labor where they import laborers from the Japanese, from Chinese to work in the plantation estates to reach the needs for them to produce their products. So this phenomenon, like importing laborers, what we call nowadays as migrant workers, remain to happen until now, because the plantation estates until now is even, in fact, it's one of the Malaysia's biggest economic contribution for the plantation estates. And you can see that Malaysia now is the first highest placement country among perantau or migrant workers in the Malay Archipelago or Southeast Asia. So the existence of these migrant workers lead to another social problem among the perantau community, because the existence of perantau community is not well recognized by the state authority. They consider the migrant workers as a national security threat. Although at the same time, the existence of these plantation estates still need the existence of these migrant workers. So there's a dilemma in that. So I call it the social problem is not happened in the state authority defined, but it's not happened in the everyday defined, because the community, the plantation estates, the managers, they accept their existence. But it is a problem in the state authority defined, and that includes their access to fundamental rights. So therefore, the Indonesian government, together with the Malaysian government, they recognize educational institutions to provide the access for these perantau communities in terms of the access to education, such as the Kota Kinabalu Indonesian schools, as well as community learning centers. And furthermore, there are also these are the examples of educational institutions that are recognized by the Indonesian government, as well as some of them also recognized by the Malaysian government. For example, the Indonesian foreign schools. In Malaysia, there's the Kuala Lumpur, Johor Bahru, and also Kota Kinabalu. Secondly, there's the plantation-owned community learning centers, which is the CLCs that is inside the plantation estate company, and also it expands to the CLCs that is also located outside plantation estate company. So these are the images where the existence of the CLCs in Sabah and Sarawak, or in East Malaysia. So my broad statement is that according to the classical international disciplines, what they believe the international system or any social phenomenon is state-driven relations. Means that there's only state actors that has enough influence to influence another actor to behave in a particular way. So it's similar to, as example of this figure, the billiard balls, where there's only state actors and state actors, so they influence to each other. So who has more power, they can influence the other state. However, the current international systems and another social phenomenon it should be looked to be more complex, as mentioned by John Button, that the international system as complex as a code web, as seen in the figure. It means that it is not only state actors, but there's also other non-state actors that also can influence to one another, that also have connection to one another. So it's a complex code web, complex multi-centric actors. So I use that as my to explore the existence of these numbers of the community learning centers, in which the previous study they only mentioned that the CLC's existence in Sabah is only based on the state-centric lens, means that these are the top-down initiative. However, I want to explore this beyond the state-centric lens. So I explore each of these education institutions. So these are my research questions. So I have three. The first is the nature of community learning centers in Sabah, and also to discover, to explore who are the key actors involved in the CLCs. Second is the practices of the key actors who are involved in the institutionalization of the CLCs. And the third is the meanings attached to the key actors practices in relation to the institutionalization of CLC in Sabah. These are some of my literature review about the study who study about who are the major actors involved in the institutionalization of the CLCs. Next is my research methodology. So I adapt the inductive research strategy, which is inductive research strategy is exploratory research. So it's kind of focusing on my research objective without starting my research with any theory or any concept, and I want to test the theory or the concept or the hypothesis. So my research does not start with that, but my research will end with some generalizations of findings, and if possible, it leads to the law of knowledge about the CLC itself. And my unit of analysis is the educational institutions. So I studied 6 plantation-owned community learning centers and 7 non-plantation-owned community learning centers. And to analyze the data from my in-depth interviews with the informants related to these education institutions, I use a thematic analysis in inductive approach to bring up to emerge the themes that comes from the informant. So the themes does not start at the beginning, but the themes are the results of my analysis. So that is the thematic analysis in inductive approach. And I choose the informants based on my criteria, which is full sampling. So there are certain criteria that the informants need to fulfill, those who are directly involved in the education institutions. And these are the numbers of the total informants that I interviewed. So directly to my first key findings, my first finding related to my first research questions about the nature. So this is my thematic map of the nature of plantation-owned community learning centers. The blue boxes are the themes, the green one are the sub-themes, and the rest, the white one is the codes connected to the themes or the sub-themes. The second one is the nature of non-plantation-owned community learning centers. Same explanation, the green and blue and the white one. I just want to give an example, the difference between the nature of the POCLCs and NPOCLCs. For example, the role of rantau in the POCLCs are not as significant as the role of rantau in the NPOCLCs. So this is an example of my data extract, and it shows that rantau in POCLCs, they are most likely focused on the discourse that they are the parents. So they are just the workers, they are just the parents of the children. But in rantau, in the NPOCLCs, they are more likely in the in a role of that they are one of the key actors in the institutionalization of the NPO CLCs. Okay, I'm afraid with this, it keeps on happening. Okay.
You have to click on it.
Yeah, so this is the previous thematic map that I zoom in so that you can see clearly. This is the perantau in POCLC. You see that among the parental issues, and there's the perantau evolution there. And this is the perantau in the thematic map of NPOCLCs. We are there among the perantau agencies there, and these are the codes there that are connected to them. And my second findings focus on the question 2. This is question 2 about the practices of the key actors. So there's the typologies of the CLCs, and the typologies represents the centric of the CLCs, which means the centric means that this community learning centers is mainly institutionalized with the existence of the key actors, which is like for example, this one is the Guru Bina centric. There's also the Perantau centric. There's the NGO centric and local individual centric. And these are the practices, the main practices of these key actors. For example, Guru Bina. Why Guru Bina centric CLCs? What is the practice of the Guru Bina that allow them to institutionalize community centers? So eventually I found that Guru Bina is the negotiator. And also for the different key actors, they have the different practices that lead to the institutionalizations of the CLCs. And this slide is like, this is the figure. So the previous existing literature, they only believe that CLCs is only about the plantation and non-plantation CLCs, but my research, as mentioned in the typologies, is actually a multi-centric model of CLC, where every CLC has their focus, has their own centric, has their own key actor to play their role in the establishment of the CLC. These are the example of the data extract. This is my third question. The meanings of the key actors practices. So it is to explore what motivates them to practice in a particular way. So for example, perantau. They have some kind of resilient perantau, means that the perantau behave in a resilient way. So what motivates them to practice that? To become more resilient, to work beyond their own limited work job scope. So for example, the meaning here, it is an opportunity for local access, and also they have the push and pull factors that motivates them to practice in a particular way, to become a resilient perantau, something like that. And the next slide I show is an illustration, the practice, the meanings, and what is the connection to these practices to the institutionalizations of the CLCs. My discussion. We see that the key actors they practice something that leads to the institutionalizations of the CLCs. However, the practices that I found in each of the key actors is actually the practice, I call it the practice of their uncommon practices. Means that actually their main job scope of these key actors is not what they practice is not what they practice, such as Guru Bina, they negotiate with the plantation estate manager. So that is actually not the practice of the Guru Bina. So that's why I call there is a common practice of the actor, and there's also the uncommon practice of the actor. So why, for example, Guru Bina, they practice uncommon practice such as negotiation is because I call it the structuration process. So it is actually a transformation of actor towards human agent. So what makes this actor becomes a human agent? What makes this actor from only practicing common practice to practice uncommon practice? So that's the existence of institutional power there. I call it the concept of institutional power. And institutional power actually refers to the community learning center model itself. Because I say community learning center is a model that is an institution that has power because it is a model that is recognized by both the Malaysian and Indonesian governments. So they use this model for them, allows them to practice uncommon practices. So these are examples of the transformation of perantau from actor to human agent. So the common practice of perantau is working at plantation estate, but the uncommon practice of perantau is they talk to landlord and they initiate CLCs. Is because of the existence of institutional power. Another discussion that I want to highlight is the Nusantara discourse of CLCs in Sabah. So the structure of CLC is actually representing a different structure to the existing the Westphalian state, the Westphalian space. So the Westphalian space is a space where we live in a world with border. So we only live in the world where there's only these citizens, right? There's no a mixture of citizens, but the structure of CLCs, the institution of CLCs has is a space itself. It's a Nusantara. I call it Nusantara space because in this institution there's the transnational Nusantara communities there. There's the communities, the citizens from both the Indonesian, the Malaysian citizens who work together in these institutions. So outside there is a Westphalian space, but inside the CLCs is the Nusantara space. My theoretical and conceptual contributions. So first is theorizing the CLCs for the civil migrant workers. Secondly, the one that I mentioned, which is the concept of institutional power. So human agent, organization. So human agent is the key actor, and organizations is the organization that is approached by the human agent. It can be the plantation estate, it can be the landlord, it can be any other individuals that are approached by the human agent to come inside the structure of CLCs, to institutionalize the CLCs. So the institutional power here is like some kind of helps the human agent to be able to push the organization towards the structure of CLC. And my third and last contribution is the extension of the duality of structure. So in my contribution in the structuration process, I'm not talking about the structure, but I'm talking about the phenomenon prior to the existence of the human agent. So what makes human agent exist? So everyone is an actor, and the actor can turn into a human agent, and this is what I call the structuration process. So the common practice, and because of the existence of institutional power, it allows the actor to practice uncommon practice, and they turn as the human agent. So that is my third contribution, and last is my with my policy recommendations based on my research, I find that so the state government of Malaysia should ratify the institutions for the children of Indonesian migrant workers that are beyond, that are outside the plantation estates. Means that they have to update their existing agreement, where currently they only accept the institutions inside the plantation estate. But eventually, because of the existence of many institutions, CLC institutions outside plantation estate, eventually the Malaysian government should ratify and recognize them. But as a return, the Indonesian government representative focuses on embassy and consulates. They have to establish some kind of standard SOPs for the CLC's establishment, because since if the government of Malaysia accepts them to be recognized, to recognize these CLCs that are outside the plantation estates, the Indonesian government also at the same time they have to appreciate that, but at the same time they need to have particular SOPs to control the numbers of the CLCs, so that they no longer focus on the quantity of the CLCs, as we can see in the introduction figure where there are so many institutions of CLCs, but they need to focus more on the quality, that to give this access of education to the children of migrant workers. So I guess that's my policy recommendation, and my limitations. I separate into two. For my methodological limitations, because I'm adapting to the positivist objectivity, inductivist strategy. However, I do not deny that there's potential that the informants have some kind of their own interests and their own narrative of that can actually affect my analysis, because my analysis only focus mainly on the informants in that interviews. So if they have their own interests to protect their own organizations because of the sensitive issues, so this also can affect my analysis. And also my own researcher's limitation is that I feel there's a significant challenge for me to explore independently, because this is until now is a sensitive issue where we talk about Indonesian migrant workers. As I mentioned, this is a national security threat based on the state authority defined. So there's some kind of trying to protect themselves, and even the Indonesian government also there is like the protecting these CLCs not to allow outsiders to come there directly without informing them. So in that, I feel there's a challenge for me to explore this independently. So that's my limitation. I just last my conclusion. So first, studies of random community is crucial, as intra-region migration phenomenon remains to occur in the Malaya Archipelago in the near future, particularly due to the law of supply and demand and the unbalanced economic power among Nusantara countries. Second, the thesis reveals complex multi-centric model of CLC agents rather than the existing POCLCs and NPOCLCs. And last, it should not be hidden or covered up due to adopting so-called Eurocentric governance frameworks. Instead, bottom-up initiatives perhaps should be acknowledged and integrated alongside state authority, which I use the term the institutional power, in institutionalizing the structures designed that can address the social problems faced by perantau. So based on both empirical and conceptual evidences, CLCs stand as successful results of Nusantara-driven bottom-up initiative. So that I end my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Follow time.
It's too long.
Oh,
28.
Yeah, the whole thing is about 27 minutes, I think.
Okay, bro.
A second. Rahman, how many minutes do you have there?
Well, actually, I say it's 28, 7 minutes and some seconds.
A second, yeah, more or less the same, yeah. Oh,
just to finish.
so your examiner is here.
I hear.
yeah. What is there? Oh, come.
Here.
Late.
Yeah.
Raman pun okay lah. Be
Um,
careful near Rafan.
okay. Welcome, Salsa. You're alone, Salsa, here.
Karyawan saya
It's still resting as well, yeah.
yeah,
Okay, right. We will continue.
they on the way
On the way. Okay, on the way. Okay, right.
from
Right.
Universiti.
Right.
Oh, let me also ask him to inform you. He will arrive soon.
He will arrive soon. Okay, right. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll start the session. I just want to flip it around a bit. I just like to get all your inputs from the floor, inputs from your friends first. Saya lupa namanya. I forgot your name. Daniel. Maybe Daniel, you have some thoughts.
Yeah.
Your thoughts.
Some of your thoughts on inside, whatever. Suggestions, or questions, or comments.
I wanna ask something about the presentation. I asked because there is no KJRI you mentioned in your thesis. So,
There's no what?
KJRI. But I think the most important organization for the Indonesian migrant is KJRI. But you looks like you say that CLC is more than KJRI. I think like that. I thought like that. So what is the influence of KJRI to the Indonesian migrant in Sabah? Because if I see your presentation, it looks like the CLC is more important thing to become facilitate the migrant to stay and to the government, local government. So it looks like that. But what is the impact or influence of the KJRI? There is no KJRI you mentioned in your thesis. And then the second one is I don't understand what's the difference between implementation community and not CLC. You don't explain what the characteristic of both of them. What's the difference about the implementation committee and non-implementation committee? I see like that.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Just a quick note. KJRI is Consulate General of Republic of Indonesia.
Yeah. So thank you, Mr. Daniel. Yes, I did not include. You can say KJRI or Indonesian government as the one of the key actors in the institutionalization of the CLC. But just to let you know that CLC model is a model that is actually, this is the institutional power. It is a model that is recognized by both the Malaysian and Indonesian government, right? So although I do not mention them, CLC's institutions is actually institutions that is recognized, that is registered under the consulate or embassy in Sabah. However, why I did not include the KJRI or the consulate in among one of the key actors? So this is related to my research strategy, right? So I apply the inductive research strategy. So my analysis, my findings is based on the data that I receive, and what I analyze, my researchers, me as a researcher's interpretation is inductive. So I do not see that Indonesian consulate is one of the key actors in the institutionalizations of the CLCs. In fact, the other key actors such as Guru Bina, the Perantau also, in fact, they are the key actors who play proactive role in the institutionalization of the CLC. Whereas the consulate, they are just the one who like they support institutionally, like they support from the aspect of recognition. The CRC itself is a recognition of the Indonesian consulate. So if, for example, the key actors such as Guru Bina, the Perantau, or even local individuals, NGOs, all of them, they initiate this kind of education institutions. So before it turns into CLC, the term that they use is sekolah swasta. So, and then they can register this sekolah swasta to become CLC. They register through the consulate, Indonesian consulate or embassy in Sabah. So that is why I used to bring community learning centers model or structure is actually the institutional power. That is not the key actor who plays their own role. It is not the Indonesian consulate who directly go to plantation estate. It is not the Indonesian government who directly go to the community to institutionalize, to establish education institution. But it is this, I don't call them as actors anymore, because in sociology I learned that they are more likely as an agent, as a human agent. So this human agent is the one who goes to plantation estate, who goes to their community to build, to institutionalize this education institution. So that is why I don't consider the KJRI or consulate as part of the key actors, or that the one that I highlighted here. Yeah. But indirectly I highlight. That's why I mentioned the institutional power. So that is also KJRI lah. But I put some of them here in my thesis, but I do not show it here because I think my time is very limited to present. So, and also about the characteristics of the POCLCs and NPOCLCs. I mentioned in my thesis, but I did not mention in my slides. I'm sorry because of the time limitation. But just to tell to Mr. Daniel, plantation-owned community learning centers are CLCs that are established inside the plantation estate company. So this education institution is under the
like
plantation estate company.
The forest.
Yes. Whereas the non-plantation owned community learning centers are CLCs that are established outside the plantation estate. So these institutions are not under the plantation estate company. So that is one of the characteristics. Yes, I think that helps you to understand. Mr. Daniel.
Yeah. But one thing. Do CLC registered in the local government or not, or only registered on Indonesian consulate?
Thank you, Doctor. So this is why I'm doing this research to explore the issues here. So the only plantation-owned community learning centers currently that is also recognized by the Malaysian government side and also Indonesian government side. However, the non-plantation-owned CLCs are yet to be recognized by the Malaysian government. So they are only recognized, or we can say protected by the Indonesian consulate in Sabah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so which is why my research here, in my policy recommendation, I want to highlight that eventually the Malaysian government should recognize this existence of institutions outside plantation estate. But at the same time, the Indonesian government also need to have some kind of their SOP standardization standard in order to institutionalize the CLC, because there are too many quantity of CLCs there outside the plantation estate that somehow Indonesian government need to be more focused towards the quality. So at the same time, the Malaysian government will be much happier and appreciate the effort of the Indonesian government to control these CLCs. Right. So yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
Rahman.
I don't have.
Okay. Just yeah, Joanne, yeah.
Do you win?
Oh yeah, you have. Okay, I can't
Yes, yes.
really see your. I've been blocked by the.
Thank you, Hanif. Since I make a review about Dr. Reevany's suggestion to Samuel's pre-viva, yeah, so I checked some points of Dr. Reevany's suggestion to Samuel. I think the suggestions is also suitable for you and me.
Okay.
And first is I remember the first point. It should be the chapter 1, 2, 3. It's be better including 7 minutes.
Yeah.
I also
It's too long.
yeah. It's just too long. And I think since the time is limited, I hope to focus more on because you make a lot of structure pictures. Yeah, I hope in my mind, I don't know how about others' idea. I think you should be explain more about the relationships according to your structure pictures, but you cost so much time about the background. I think the background is easy for us to understand since all the Indonesia and the Malaysia background is similar. I think even I'm a Chinese, I can understand. I think you can understand better than me. So let's save the time to explain your structure. And I have a question that whether shall we need to mention our limitation for such a long time? In my mind, we should show our finding and advantage, but not the limitation. Shall we put it on or just?
He opened a window to attack.
Yeah, and when the limitation is appear, I think maybe it should be goes quickly, but Hanif is very carefully to explain one by one. Shall we do that? I'm not so clear, and yeah, and here that's all.
Thank you. Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm worried that I have a problem when I present. I cannot control myself.
You are so honest.
Then cut off the slide of limitation.
So.
Only one slide lah.
You want to respond first, or is that your response?
Yes. I don't know. Like I did some mock Bible with the others. Yes. Still, I cannot present less than 15 minutes, and especially in the background, I keep presenting too long. So I don't know, like what can Prof suggest to shorten my presentation?
Your slides is good because the slides is not too long. Your slides background is only one slide. Yeah, the number of slides is okay, but you should control yourself. Don't talk too much about.
Yeah. You
So-
must explain.
And your pre it looks like very complete of your thesis. Every part of your thesis is already shown on these slides. But sometimes we don't show the whole, just introduction about your thesis. The examiners will read it, not will, have already read it carefully. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. I'm gonna come in before the rest as well in minutes. already 3 points there. One is about Daniel's point about the role of KJRE, right? Consulate General, so you Consulate General, Republic of Indonesia. So for those who might be familiar with your work, they might be familiar with the role of Consulate General as well, or the role of the ambassador. So they might be thinking, where is the role of the country, or representatives of the country, which is the Consulate General, or in this case it could also be the embassy, right?
Consulate.
Right. So I think in this one. So what is the role? Why do you exclude that? You will need to be able to address that issue, Hanif. So why is it not in the so you want to explain that? I think you can explain it because you're focusing on the center.
Yes.
That is creating it. Yeah, you're talking about the center creating it, not necessarily the facilitating it, right? So that would be another way to explain it. Facilitating.
Facilitating.
Facilitating, facilitating it. So and there are other players, actors, agents that come in to contribute or have a role in this one, but they play a much more facilitating role rather than the central role, right? So you can make the argument, right? If they want to argue otherwise, then we will talk about changes later on. We'll talk about changes later on. But you're talking about and then this is within the boundaries of the plantation owned and the non-plantation owned. But it is not. You are not studying the Sekolah Indonesia. You're not studying that, right? So Sekolah Indonesia is certainly the center. A big part of the center is the government. Yeah, very much. So it's an important point that Daniel's brought up, because general common sense would think that the dubers or the KJRI have a role, right? But you are actually you're actually evidently showing that no, their role is there, but their role is much more as a facilitator. As a facilitator. I mean, I can use different words, which is much more negative in the parameters of this, right? In fact, many will find that they are not really happy. Right? They will say they're not really happy. If you look at the meanings there, they're not really. They don't give money. They meribetkan gitu kan, merepotkan gitu kan, give them trouble, yes, merumitkan, give them difficulty, yes, but not really helping. And here we are, want to help our children, right? They're not really helping us, right? So we using a facilitator answer will be good, but you can also go back to the because it's inductive research, right? You can go back to the informants, right? And they say, in fact, in some cases they say they are not helping at all. Right? In fact, it is our effort, they don't help at all, or they're giving us problem. You can talk about all those things because it's inductive, right? You can talk about that. And that's such a good feedback. Again, we'll talk about the examiners and all that. You got the sense of examiners, right? So it's a good point, right? The other ones were Leah's point. So Leah, you have a good guide this now, right? The first 7 minutes, right, Leah? Which is my comment here.
Thank you.
Right?
I just
The first 7 minutes.
repeat your comments.
Yeah. I mean, you can go ahead, so they all can remember. What's this first 7 minutes?
Okay. Chapter 1 to chapter 3.
That's right. Yeah, first 7 minutes. Because we might think about it as a constraint of time that will be allocated to you. Usually it's 50 minutes, right? You can probably stretch it 20 minutes depending on the chairperson in charge. Sometimes they don't allow you, right? Sometimes they allow you. But 7 minutes spent on the first one. So you're like me because I tend to spend a lot of time on the the background, the context. Being social scientists, the context is important. Without the context, the content it cannot be understood. It's hard to understand. So we want people to understand the context, right? Not just the not just the chemicals that's interacting, just using Rahman metaphor there, right? But you want to see the container, you want to see the heat, you want to see the pressure, you want to see, right? All those things play a role, right? For a material to get heated, right? Right. That's why we have a pressure cooker thing, right? Because the context.
Yes.
The context plays a role in the heating up.
Heating process.
Yes, in the process, right?
Very philosophic.
Yeah, it's philosophical, but
It's general.
yeah, general, but that's true for life as well. The context is important. So I relate to you because I tend to do what you do to Hanif. So, but in this one, the guide is actually right, the 7-minute guide, right? So what you do with you talk about the time is now. You are doing the right thing by having this alarm thing. Maybe you can have 3 alarms.
Oh,
The first alarm is the
7 minutes or 5 minutes.
5 minutes or 7
10,
minutes.
15.
5-10 minutes. Yeah. So you know, you can even tell, this is my 5-minute alarm, so I should stop talking about the content I'm going to. You can make joke of it, so the situation becomes lighter. Lighter that it's not.
I'm not sure Hanif is a funny guy.
That's the problem. He's not.
You got to bring Rahman there.
Okay, bring Rahman.
Always serious lah.
So do that so that you can control your time, right? So you can say, well, this 5 minutes I will, stop talking about that. If I have more time, I go back to my, so you just time yourself. You have some very good materials on the key findings and all that, so you want to spend a lot more time on that one. Any more comments before I continue?
Okay, I will asking you as a researcher.
Yes.
I also research CLC on 2023.
Yes, together.
Together with you, but I have different focus.
Yeah.
So as a law between Malaysia and Indonesia, the law only accommodate about plantation actually.
Yes.
Not include the non-plantation, right? But in reality, the non-plantation more than plantation, growing so fast.
Yes.
After Susilo Bambang Yudhoyono president, the CLCs grows so fast until now. Actually, the mission of CLC is they want to give facilitate to the children, and they can back to Indonesia. In reality, the CLC becomes more and more, which is, it means that this mission actually is not succeed because must be reduced actually, but in reality, increase and increase and increase. I want to ask you, the first question is why that happened? And the second is also related with the first question. Back to the my first overview that actually the law only provide the plantation, okay, the law, but in reality it's different.
Thank you.
And also CLCs is also actually it's not like kejar paket. Mungkin because this is my students, maybe they think that this is kejar paket. Kejar paket is special
package A, B, C.
Module, right? Modular.
Curriculum is special curriculum. So
curriculum for them who maybe not continue the study and then want to continue the study.
Okay.
in 1 year, right?
No lah. There are some steps lah. So this is a formal school. So same curriculum with Indonesia, same examination, same books, and our government also provide dana bos, right, for the students, or such as allowance for each students every month. Actually, now. So, based on this condition, if based on your theory about structure and agent, what happened to the field? What happened to the field? So somebody who actually not agent, or you say actor before, and then can open and open and open. What happened to the field? You said only power of knowledge. Which kind of it? I want to little bit more elaboration about this. What happened to the field? So somebody who nobody become a head of CLC maybe. Is there different types? So what happened to? So I'm talking about the theoretical because you use this theory. Okay, you understand my two questions?
Yeah.
Okay. Now.
Very long question.
I don't know your examiners maybe from social science
These
or somebody.
these empirical questions, I can say.
Of course.
Empirical questions. Thank you. The first question about why it expands, right? To go beyond the plantation estate. So if you allow me to use my slide to show you the map. Oh my God. Yeah, thank you, John. Basically this empirical question. So I answer empirically also. So basically the community learning centers that is agreed bilaterally by the Malaysian and Indonesian government is only the plantation owned community learning centers. However, in fact, it expands beyond the plantation, beyond the POCLCs, and in fact, there are more numbers of non-plantation owned community learning centers than or NPOCLCs than the POCLCs. So why that happens? I wrote in my thesis that this is also related to the existence of the Rantau communities settlements in Sabah. So actually, because of this existence of the POCLCs and NPOCLCs, this is actually an evidence that that the Rantau communities settlements are not only those who work in the plantation estate company. They are not only settled, they not only live in the plantation estate companies, but many of them, in fact, more of them live. Oh yeah. In fact, many of them actually work or they settle outside the plantation estate companies. So in fact, many of them actually settle or work or live outside the plantation estate companies. Not all the Perantau communities there in Sabah work under the plantation estates. Many of them also work under landlords. That's why what among the organizations Mari said that it's not only the plantation estate but also landlords. In fact, many of the Perantau communities they work under the landlord. So they work under the private plantation company. They are like under the landlord. So they work in a small plantations, agriculture, with small farming. So many of them also work outside the plantation estate. So that is why they appears many CLCs that is beyond the POCLCs. And another reason is maybe I can say lack of research on establishing the CLCs. So they do not do research. For example, they use the GIS or they establish POCLCs based on the strategic location where the POCLCs can reach to many of the Perantau communities, not only in the plantation estate but also outside the plantation. So because there is a lack of standardizations, there is a lack of these SOPs, like what is the zonal system, the zonal area to establish the CLCs. There is a lack in that. go from the Indonesian consulates. So which is why many of these agents, they don't give some kind of research-based argumentation. They're more likely in just argumentation. They argue that there are many communities under me, like in my communities, that they do not have access to education because the existing institutions are far from them. They cannot reach that. Their lack of transportation. So it is also related to the perantau community social life, right? They are not the local communities who they have transportation, who live in the urban area where they have access to education. So many of them live inside the forest. Many of them live in the plantation plantation land. So they do not have like access. So that is why for them, maybe for them, 5 kilometers is far. But for local community, maybe 5 kilometers is close because they have a motorcycle, maybe they have a car. So for them, 5 kilometers is close. But for them, 5 kilometers is far. So that is why there's another. The institutions keep on growing and growing and growing without the control of the Indonesian, without the control of the consulate. Yeah.
I'm not sure without control because, like I say, we deliver money for
Yes.
each students every month.
Yes, yes, you can say that, but I have my argument in my thesis that though one of the consulate, the argument from one of the perantau, who is also the agent of one of the studied CLC, the informant mentioned that the consulate already asked the informant like, why you built this institution, but there's actually already have existing CLCs near him, near his place.
Yeah.
But he keeps on himself, convincing himself and convincing the consulate that it doesn't matter whether you want to recognize my institution or not, I will still keep on establishing these institutions. And eventually this becomes CLC, one of the NPO CLCs. And sometimes the reason is not only about the access, but sometimes each of these actors they have conflict with the existing. Maybe some of these agents previously they were also part of the another institution, but because of the conflict, so the informant went out and initiates and institutionalized his own institutions to show to the previous members that he also capable to has his own institution. So there's also some kind of
So you mean to open CLC is easy?
Yeah, based on my data that I received, it happens like that. They don't give any proper evidence why they need to establish that. They just tell the consular that they want to build this because they say that there are numbers of children of these perantau communities under him will go to his institutions. So I think one of the reasons where the consulate can agree to recognize these agents CLCs is whether the agent can convince the consulate that if he institutionalize these CLCs, there will be certain numbers of students will study under these institutions. But if there's less numbers, the consulate might not accept the proposal. something like that.
Go deep to my second question.
I forgot what the. Can you
Okay.
ask again?
I asked that you use agent and structure. My question is what's happened to the field? So somebody who nobody and then can change to become an agent. What's happened to the field? What kind of maybe power or knowledge or model they have maybe? You have this concept or not?
Yeah, thank you.
Or because you said that you are adaptive, you asking the experience. So the experience also representing their life history. What happened to the process of life history? So somebody who nobody becomes somebody.
Thank you.
Huh.
Not adaptive, I'm doing inductive.
Okay, inductive.
So, how to answer it? Would you want? Thank you.
To answer it.
So, the human agent in connection to this POCLCs or NPOCLCs, they are not the ordinary actor, or they are not the ordinary perantau or someone. Most of these perantau who become the human agent has some kind of different characteristics. For example, before even they established this institution, they were already known as, for example, like tokoh masyarakat. I mentioned that in my thesis.
You have classification on
Tokoh
your slide or something?
I don't put that. So some of tokoh masyarakat, some of them the person himself, he is the leader of this community, and some of them I call it as if I may show.
Because your heart of your research is model.
Let me show. So, like for example, like if we talk about the perantau, these are the perantau who has the access with the local access. For example, he already has a strong relationship with the landlord. So, and or if not, maybe he if we talk about the push and pull factors, before the perantau migrated to Sabah, he was already a teacher back then in Indonesia, or he has like some kind of educational level in Indonesia that he is a teacher. So he has this educational background that pushed him to establish some kind of educational institutions. When he see the surrounding, the field that these children of perantau communities don't have access. But there's also the pull factor, means that the surrounding perantau communities knows him that he is an educated person. So the perantau communities push him to educate their children, because of there is no educational institutions that can provide access to education for their children. So that is why there's a demand there also from the community. So this kind of thing somehow allows the perantau to practice uncommon practices. So with these characteristics, and also not to forget, even before the existence of these community learning centers, actually these actors, they are not, some of them already has their own educational institutions even before CLCs. They call it sekolah swasta. So some of them also built sekolah swasta, they have the existing institutions, but because there is a model, there is a community learning center model that is recognized by the Indonesian and Malaysian government. So that is why the perantau try to get the recognition of his sekolah swasta to become community learning centers. So if you look at my, I don't know if you get it. Maybe here. There are institutional insecurity. There's the institutional dissatisfaction. So these kind of things lead them connected to this perantau to practice the uncommon practices, to institutionalize community learning centers. So there are existing institutions sekolah swasta. They have institutional insecurity because this sekolah swasta is not recognized by any government, by any consulate, not even the consulate in Indonesia. So any authority comes, like the police and everything, it will give them insecurity. So that's what we call institutional insecurity. There's also a reason of institutional dissatisfaction where some of the perantau maybe they already part of the existing CLCs, but there is an institutional dissatisfaction by this perantau that makes him to exit, to quit from the existing institution and institutionalize his own, to create his own model of CLC, his own centric. So that leads to the expanding numbers of CLCs there.
Okay, I gotta come in now.
Okay.
Alright.
Agak berputar-putar.
Yeah, because otherwise we will spend the next 3 hours here. So now there are a set of comments I'd like to make, Neil, and the other one just to connect to what Joanne was talking about. So when the questions lie beyond your research, right? You can answer immediately, incident. That's a very important question, right? My research focused on this one, but I will attempt to address that question. See. So you said I do not have the data to answer your question, but based on my conjecture, based on my guess is this. I might be right, might be wrong, right? My research, see how I know it. Okay. So I don't have the data. No. My research is about it, but that's a very important question. In fact, if I have a research to do with my PhD, this is the question I want to do. Right? You're recognizing the importance of the examiner and the examiner's question. See? But a lot of question there was outside of your research. Right, I understand that. So you do not have to answer that. It doesn't have the right or wrong, because I'm not sure I'm right or wrong, right? Probably you would know better, right? Please tell me. So you recognize this authority. Remember, you're fighting with a king. Or kings or queens, whatever that.
Testing.
Right. So let them have the power, let them have the right, let them recognize them, right? Tell me what's right, I'll follow you, that kind of thing. Okay, you see the point. But this is, you have assigned me to do this, I'll do this. But beyond me, this is what I think. So you have cornered them to a space, but still recognize that this is a space is important, but this is not my space. Right? Right? See the point? Okay, this is us. Now, the point that's connected was structuration.
Yeah.
Structuration, since you use that one, Anthony Giddens' structuration theory is a complex theory, right? Because it has that duality of structure. But it's complex, let's simplify it, right? So, structuration theory, he happens to be the director of my university last time, so I kind of understand a bit. Anthony Giddens, right? So, talks about duality of structure. Okay. Remember this, a simple argument. I ask you all, where is structure? Show me structure.
There is no structure.
Where's structure? Where's structure? Landis, where's structure? Where's structure in Mandarin? No. Where's structure?
Depend lah.
Where's structure?
Where is structure?
There's no structure.
Where is structure?
Where's what? Structure.
Not scientifically, right? Socially, social structure. Where is social structure? Yeah, but in sociology, we talk about structure, economic structure, political structure, social hierarchy. Where is structure? There is no structure
There is no structure.
unless we create the structure.
Yes.
Structure only exists in the actions of humans, right? And in the memory of human, basically. You cannot point the structure. It is structure. There is no structure. Right? We cannot touch structure. We create the structure through our actions. So when you come here, just now you come here, you give respect, morning, and all that. So you're establishing a power structure there. It is through the words that power structure is being established, right? So the whole idea of structuration is that the duality of structure, that the structure is there, but it's not there. It only appears through the humans. So the whole fight is basically arguing against the structuralists, basically, right? That the structure versus agency is not against. He's saying that it's the agents that create the structure. If we stop affirming the structure collapses. There is no more structure.
Yes.
Right? If we all say, I'm not going to use Grab anymore, right? There's no more healing, right? The whole Grab will collapse, right? That's why, which is consistent with Marx and all that as well. Right? So structure only exists with the human actions, right? Now you got to understand that part. And then structure is both enabling and constraining. So we use structure to create structure, right? We have a memory of a structure, or when you're in this situation, this is the structure I should produce, or something like that. Right? Basically, that's structuration theory. But through our producing and reproducing, that's how structure is created, right? So structure is both enabling, also constraining. So we use structure to constrain, but also to enable us. But we make reality work based on structures that we understand, or that we create, or reproduce, transform, whatever, right? So that is the duality of structure. It's not this is Giddens, right? Structure. This is not my argument. This is Giddens' argument, right? Agree or not, there's a different thing. I'm just getting you to get into the what you want to understand vis-a-vis structuration theory. So Giddens talks about this duality of structure. That structure is both a medium and an outcome, right? A medium and both an outcome. So
Mengatasi tapi juga bisa diciptakan.
yeah, and it doesn't exist unless through human action. We're talking about social structure. We're not talking about chemical structure, organic chemical structure, right? Like what Rahman is studying, right? Physical structure. Of course, the structure exists, right? Otherwise, the full roof will fall down. But social structure is a different thing. So, if you understand that one, you got to apply that or integrate that, adapt that to your point that you raised just now, right? Maybe you can talk about how when they usually institutionalize a structure, right? Right? Yeah. So they can institutionalize that structure based on existing model of structure or new models of structures, right? So that can be can be applied. That's where structuration theory can be applied. When people start to create their own new structures or reproduce their own structures, that's also structuration, right? So when they reproduce a new structure, they're actually challenging the old structure. So you need to come up with that point then, right? And then because you're using structuration, you use structuration theory, right? So,
It's a structuration process.
Yeah. So
Institutional power.
so when you speak structuration, people will connect that with Giddens.
Yes.
Right.
That's why if
So, but it is applicable. It's applicable. You can use that to explain, right? So you can use that to explain, Hanif. So before they were actors, now they become agents.
yeah, so I'm not talking about the existing entity given to what you started, but I'm talking about how this the actions can appear, how these agents can exist
Okay,
before the structure exists. So they
Yeah.
were actually actors. So
Okay.
actors, they practice common practices.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
this is not a structure. They just practice as a migrant workers. They
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
practice
yeah,
it.
yeah.
But I add this some kind of institutional power. Institutional power is the CLC model itself, because I mean in IR when we talk about power, it's about recognition, it's about influence. Of CLC model is the model that is recognized
Mhm.
by the state authority, by
Yes.
both the Malaysian authorities.
Mhm.
So they have the power there. So because this like CLC is institutional power, so eventually it helps the actor to practice uncommon practices.
Mhm.
So there's a uncommon practice that refers to the human agent,
Mhm.
where for example perantau, they practice uncommon practice. They practice not only working, but they also practice other things. They approach the landlord.
Mhm.
They convince to the Indonesian consulate. So their action, that's the structure.
Yeah.
So when this exists, if CLC model is not exist, they will not do this kind of practices.
Practices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is what the structure is there
Yeah. Yeah.
when there is institutional power.
Yeah. Yes.
So,
Yes. You can. Even this connects well with structural theory. So,
yeah.
if they want you to bring in and have a more extended discussion on structuration theory, you need to bring it in. But it is definitely connected, because Gibbon's theory of structuration theory is very applicable. But then my supervisor said, so what's the point? Right? It doesn't say anything. Right? So what? It doesn't say anything because it's a neo-Marxist. So you know what? Why explain something that is there and doesn't change much? It's applicable to just about anything. But there's a flip side. There's a critique of structuration theory, because it's like symbolic interaction. There's a negotiation of power. Yeah.
Why I ask this question?
Yeah.
Because I think there are something that Hanif not realize
Uh-huh.
or connected in this disease.
Yeah.
There are hole in the law or standard
Mhm.
how to open the CLC, and then the others use this hole. The problem is maybe Hanif not really realize what exactly the hole.
Mhm.
So the others can use this hole and then open and open and open and open.
Yes.
And I hope why I ask this question, because the title is model,
Yeah.
and the third question is experience, meaning.
Yeah.
So what's happened to the agent? With different CLC, maybe have different power, different knowledge.
Yes.
What exactly is it?
Yeah.
So I not find it detailed in Hanif's answer,
Yeah.
because it is connect with the structuration again.
Yeah. So we are talking about the legal power. Yeah. The legal power.
Legal
So
power,
the
and also
the legal.
see, he just explained the common practice. What is common practice? What they do? Exactly what the type. For example, somebody who previously guru bina maybe different with their perantau,
Yeah.
and also different maybe with somebody who another experience.
Yeah.
That's why I asked.
Yeah.
Maybe Prof can.
So what is it you want to say?
I'm afraid that the examiners are sociologists and they think like me.
Yeah. So okay, Hanif, how would you address something like that? You got to use your data now.
Yeah. Why I ask you, I hope your answer is not based on your experience or your opinion, but back to your data.
Yes.
But I cannot find the answer.
Everything cannot find.
So how would the inductive strategy answer the question? That's my question. Because you have the data, or you do not have the data, right? How do you answer the question? Inductive can answer this question. Deductive is a bit hard to answer this question. What does inductive research do, Hanif? What does inductive research do? In fact, inductive and deductive can answer this question rather easily. But deductive find it difficult to answer. Retroductive find it even more difficult to answer. Inductive and abductive can answer this question.
Can.
Well,
if I address your question, I would say that because I'm applying the inductive research strategy.
yes.
So for inductivist, like data is the main source for the researcher, right? And I have collected the data from my in-depth interviews with the informants, how to say
This is a philosophical question or not, actually, bro?
Mm,
Or only technical?
both actually. Both.
so
Because it's an epistemological assumption of it.
Yeah,
It's simple.
yeah.
Yeah. So
and let me
go ahead. Go ahead.
sometimes
First.
your questions makes me confused.
My question or Joanne's question? Which one?
Uh,
Yeah, Joanne has that tendency. I know that. That's why it's good for Joanne to come in. You know,
yeah.
he distracts you from the center.
Oh my
And then,
god!
then you go back. Go bring yourself back to the center. Your center. Your
Can
center.
you repeat again
Oh,
the
no.
question?
The-
Can you make your question maybe simpler for
No,
me to digest?
examiner maybe not asking simple question lah.
I mean, for me to digest the question. Sometimes I'm too long, so sometimes I'm.
the essence is there's a vacuum in the law,
Mhm.
and these people are making use of that vacuum. So ada lubangnya,
Yes.
and knowing perantau lah, they are good at finding this
Uh-huh.
little holes, little loopholes.
Doing modification.
Sometimes they create the holes themselves, and there is no hole,
Yeah.
right? That's the point.
And this is the heart of your research and the contribution of your research, actually.
So, but how would you answer it? It's not difficult to answer, by the way.
Oh, I don't know.
If oh my God.
What happens if examiner asking and then we cannot answer?
Okay, that's where you go back to your center. Your center is your research questions, right? What's your research question? Right. That's what I'm saying. I'm telling you what the research questions are. Your answer is in your research question. There you go. Right. What are the practices are the key, both state and non-state actors involved in it? And what are the meanings that attach to key actors practices in relation to the institutionalization of? So your data is coming from
the CLCs.
the CLCs, right? So the fact that the model doesn't address the issue because this is the reality created by them, not you.
Yeah.
See, right?
Yeah.
Is it right?
Yes.
So if there's a lacking, it's in the lacking of your discussion, not lacking of the construction of the model. Because your model is inductive model. It's not deductive, it's not retroductive. Right? And deductive, retroductive, the burden is on the researcher more so. Because they're coming up with the theory lah, apa semua kan. Right, they're coming up, you're the smart one, right? You come up with theory, right? But no, you're not coming up with theory. You're letting them coming up with a theory. The model is coming from them, right?
Yeah.
They will explain you this is behavior, they explain you what the meanings are attached. So this is reality based on them, not based on you. So when the examiner finds, so the center is important. The center back is your question. That's why it's important to understand the philosophy of research. Philosophy of research, we talk about ontology and epistemology. And your epistemology is to construct a model based on the key actors. Only thing is that you are creating the model. not them.
Yeah.
You're because if they create completely them, it becomes abductive, right? And this is where you ask the question, right? And you ask the question, you collect the data, and you construct. So if there's such a question of inductive nature that you do, you can say the lacking part is in your discussion, not the model itself. It's in the discussion. So the model that you show, right? The model is because I have other comments I want to talk about, and otherwise I won't be able to talk about. The model you show is a model that is based on the data collected from the CLCs themselves, right? So it might not explain everything, but it's explained from their perspective based on the data you collect. Oh, yeah, getting hungry.
I need more energy, bro.
Energy, okay. But you get what I'm saying, Hanif?
Yes.
Yeah. So here we talk about viva defense, right? Viva defense, right? So the viva defense is about you have this data. How do you answer the question if the question comes up from different prompts? And many times the
Can I
exam.
say like
Okay.
because when I did like inductive, because I'm doing inductive, right? So the model itself is from the data that I received, that I collected from the interview.
Yeah.
And however, for this your questions, I can say I do not find this. I do not find this.
Hole or vacuum or whatever.
Yeah, this vacuum from the data that I collected.
That's right. You can answer that one. That's how you answer it. That's a good way to answer it. Right.
It's accepting.
Yeah, because it's inductive research, right? Right now, if I want to attack further, I can, but you know,
I can attack more.
But that's a good one. Remember, you want to defend your data and you have masters, right? That's important. So they ask you to go back collect more data. That's what you don't want to do, right? So you're building the challenge with inductive research is the burden of collecting data is on the researcher, right? Because you are asking the question. Whereas abductive research, you're not asking the question like the inductive question. So a researcher can start, and the examiner can ask, why don't you ask that question, right? Right. But abductive said, well, I do not ask the question. I do not want to pollute the answer, right? But usually the good thing is examiners do not know the difference. So you can use that line. Many examiners are not that knowledgeable about philosophies of research, right? So you can use that defense, right? That is the line that you use just now, right? So if you're abductive, you said, I don't define the questions. I ask, you know, how would you define happiness, right? I don't. Are you happy? Do you feel fulfilled in your heart? Do you feel your mind at peace? I don't ask those questions. I let you define. You know, that's abductive.
And maybe another like, I can show my research questions.
Yeah.
Because I'm doing inductive, so these are the data that I want to collect.
That's right.
So I do not ask this kind of question like why, what kind of. That is not my research focus. Focus is only on this based on my research question.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
As long as I answer this, so that means
There's going back there. So the center is your research questions. So have you answered research questions? Yeah, you answered research questions. But there are loopholes in research questions, like the legal loophole, which perantaus like to exploit usually, not all, but many. Right? That's why a lot of perantaus have their side business, have this business, that business. They're not supposed to do all those things. Right? Perantaus, we're talking about migrant workers here, right? Okay, so, but there's a lot of informal areas they can explore, right? And also, what happened in this context is the government also allows them, the police close one eye or sometimes two eyes, things like that. So, that is the part. So, you see that the defense actually, when you go to the most foundation of your research, is the philosophy. It's the epistemology and the ontology, right? That is the defense, right? You can use it. I use the same defense for my PhD last time, right? It's the same defense. I have I was doing studying companies, and then I have one examiner who behaves in a stupid way, right? Because she's a business historian, so she wants every company that analyzed at 49 companies at that time to have a case history, and how crazy that is to do, right? So they do not, and I say I'm using an abductive approach. What is being told is being told. So, but then thank God I have a sociologist who understand the term, so that helps. By the way, the examiner who behaves stupidly is from Malaysia, so the other one are British people. So going back to your research question, going back to your research strategies and philosophy, very strong defense, because at the heart of all research is a research question, and the way you defend your research questions, the foundation is epistemology and ontology. Right? I want to touch on other things, so limitations you throw away, can it? You do not need limitations. You just put after thank you. Right? If they want to ask about limitations, then you talk about limitations. Right? You have one limitations now. Can you go back to the limitation, which I have some questions.
A lot of limitations.
Yeah.
Methodology and then what else?
Yeah. It's going slow. Yeah, okay. Yeah, significant challenge for explore independent. Okay, the second one is the part that you want to be able to defend, right? If you put the limitations at the end. This is, by the way, in your thesis, right? Yes, already in your thesis. So it's not that you don't touch it. You can put after thank you, but you want to defend that part. Yeah. So it's not that you do not recognize, you recognize the limitation. Right? So you know that one. You're operating within the boundaries of the law, basically. That's a good argument to use.
Boundary of the law.
Meaning, what is allowed by what is, let's say, that despite including both Indonesian consulate, blah 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 blah, the one, because you are operating within the boundaries of the law, and we have two laws at work here. One is Indonesian law, by extension, the agents of the Indonesian government are the KJRI, right? It's a list coming. The list came from the Consulate General, right? So you make the argument. You use the law to protect you. The other one is that you are also operating within Malaysian law, so you operate what is being recommended by the KJRI. So that's a way to defend your case. There's one anthropologist long time ago, right, in China, by the way. China did not allow the anthropologists to release the findings, right? A European anthropologist, I think, a Canadian anthropologist, they want to release. The Chinese government did not allow, and it doesn't want that, but she released it, right? 20 years, 30 years, that's how long the Chinese government did not allow new researchers to come into China. Because of that sole act of moral championing of the whatever group, right? China did not allow. So for 20, 30 years, China stopped research. Maybe to some extent now, but I'm not sure. But it's so damaging to research. So damaging to researchers, right? Because that one person thinks that she has this moral high ground to do whatever, right? But it's an ethical question, of course. So it's ethical. So there's ethical, there's legal, right? So you just use the legal argument. It's a good legal argument, right? So you protect yourself. Yes, I'm operating, and you can always say. Also, my supervisor advises me, to work within a legal, cultural norms in Malaysia. There you go. So the examiner says, okay. Reevany said this, okay. Which you're not defending anything. You're saying you're operating within the norms, right? So you defend yourself there. I know there was line and attack on this one because your sampling might not be complete, right? Because you're not.
Yeah, it was during my proposal defense.
Yeah, I
Because
remember
they
that
asked
one
me.
too. Yeah.
So that is why I also
Put in the limitation.
also include the NGOs.
NGOs, yeah.
Model NGOs
Yes.
supported here.
Yeah. So there's a good defense. So you have expanded.
Yeah,
Yeah, expanded that. Yeah, but so I'm here now. We are here now to make sure that you succeed during Viva, not to make your research any better. You do not have time for that now. It's about making your defense stronger, basically, right?
Right. And then let me go through a couple of things, and then we can open back to the floor. I tell you what, there's certain words that you want to address. The words state authority defined. I think you want to. I tell you, just go to AI and find out another way to rephrase it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Point number one. Point number two. Your work looks like your graphics and all looks like it's non-AI, which is a good thing. Look more authentic, right? Your graphs and all that looks like it is non-AI, which is a good thing. It's a positive thing. But although UXM doesn't have a ruling on AI yet, right? But the examiners might have certain perception, right? So we want to know.
I use AI.
Yeah, it's okay. But then for the presentation, so I would not encourage you to use AI graphics wise. Then they would think that AI, and if they have a negative perception of that, it might extend to other things, right? But then talking about presentation, right?
No, only the presentation.
We're talking about the in the thesis.
We will use AI to translate our ideas into English.
That is
but
fine.
the core idea is from us.
Yeah.
I think that's okay.
And you want to proofread it. That's the important thing, right? What is it? Okay.
So it looks authentic, which is good.
You have certain graphs there. You don't have to show me. It's fine. On the Sabah state, and then you have all the
the map.
The map, right? That's yours or somebody created it?
I take from the
Website.
official website.
Okay.
And I put there.
You put it there.
Yeah, the
Okay,
link,
good.
the link.
Okay, I didn't notice that. Okay, and then you have your own graph, the thematic analysis. Can we go to those one? The one with blue. Yeah. Okay. So what you want to have here is legends. You have blue, yellow.
Oh, I put the description.
That
the
blue
meaning
is
of the-
what?
Okay.
Okay. That's one. So because you have blue, yellow, and green, right? No legend, right? Blue,
Yeah.
white, green, white. Yellow. What is that? Then the other issue is a lot of you have this issue too, right? which is font size,
Yeah.
right? So what you do if you want to highlight certain things, you also have another slide and all that,
Yes,
right?
yes.
But another way to do it, Hanif, and this is for the rest of you, to put what they call the word cloud or whatever, like this. So like certain things you want to point out, you just put
like that. You know. So if it was your whatever CLC, whatever. So just no one can see that from here. Even from the slide, you cannot see it, right? But you want to highlight certain things, you just this is the small one, right? Just highlight, make it big, and then it's like note. And then there's a word for it. It's like what is a conversational dialogue box or something. It's not dialogue box. There's a word for it. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
It can be there. It can be some circle thing, but you're just taking that box, making it bigger so they know, because you want to highlight certain things. Right? There you go. Okay, structuration theory. Yeah, I have that noted as well. Okay, but the practice uncommon and common practice. Just to use a different word because you have practiced twice, it sounds a bit not what is it? Not linguistically correct. So you say carry out common practices, carry out uncommon practices, right? By the way, all these things you have in your discussion. These things, the common and uncommon, you have in your discussion. So, in case somebody like Joanne appears, you want to have one slide to talk about common and uncommon like that.
Oh, okay.
Right? Because Joanne hasn't read your thesis yet, so she doesn't know. And just in case some examiners haven't read, it's possible. It does happen. They pretend to read or whatever, right? They don't have time to read, right? Right. So or they read, they forget. You know, both are possibilities, you know.
Forget.
Huh?
And imagine
something. Imagine something.
which is not in this.
Imagine something. So you know, but but that's a good point to highlight because you know. There's a possibility that coming from the examiner, right? You know, the examiner might read or might not read, or forget to read, or forget they have read, you know, or pretend they have read. But, you know, there are many typologies for researchers, right? I'm okay with all that as long as you know, succeed in your viva. I don't care about the examiner's personality type. But we want to prepare for different personality types.
Yeah.
So use the word carry out, Hanif, instead of practice uncommon, common practice, uncommon practice, right?
Yeah. Sometimes I have also experience because I
The
scriptsy.
yeah.
My friends.
Mhm.
And for students read something, and after that when go to paper, he suggests something that really different with the thesis. He had her own imagination.
Your own imagination. Your own imagination over, yeah. But you guys work hard because you have all this scriptsy, all this mini thesis of 300 students, 400 students. Yeah, crazy, man. No, I don't know how to. I respect Indonesia.
No time to read something also.
Huh?
You said true. No time to read all.
No time to read, of course. How about thinking? Like me, I was thinking, how do I read 300 theses or 100 or 50 theses? 50 theses, 50 or 20 to 30 theses at the end of
at least one semester.
one semester, right? But you divide the thesis, right? Divide the thesis. Hopefully, you have a lot of lecturers to divide the thesis. Anyways, about that one. I've noted down, but your part when your presentation is now when you talk about theoretical contribution, you were in minute number 15 or something like that, and it was quite late when you talk about theoretical contribution. So one way you can flip it around is to talk about theoretical contribution much earlier and put your key findings supporting the theoretical contribution. That's another way.
Okay.
If you feel that you have something elaborate to explain, right? So theoretical contribution, your key findings supporting the theoretical contribution, which is the case, right? If you can do that, but you want to test your time to go into theoretical contribution as early as possible, as deeply as possible. Because theoretical contribution is something they look for and they want you to do, right? Policy recommendation. I think use the word as for written, as in written, as policy recommendation does this, Indonesian does this, and in between you say what? What's that?
As a written.
As a written, okay. So replace the as in written, replace with the word in written.
Oh, in written.
Written.
Or you can use the word reciprocity or reciprocal gesture, initiative, action. That's another word. Because it's win-win. The point there, coming back to Joanne's point about the loophole, right? The loophole. It is also because of the loophole they can create all these
Yes.
new CLCs, right? And the loopholes are both legal and what would be the word? Yeah, operational loopholes, I guess. Yeah, because like we were discussing, sometimes the police closes one eye, closes two eyes, you know, and then Malaysians being Malaysians, sometimes we say, okay, like pity them, compassionate to them, or I'm lazy, whatever Malaysians do, right? So they do want to enforce the law. So after all, these are students. There's children. Why do we want to make it difficult, you know, for them and for the enforcers themselves?
In 2023 also, we're doing research together in CLC.
Yeah.
The owner said that he pay the
It
police.
is possible, yeah. And the police feels in the structure of payment, they feel that the police, whatever, feels that they're helping. They feel they're helping, you know. So this giving thing, right? This thing we call corruption sometimes, right? In the Asian context, it's not necessarily as negative. It's sometimes seen as positive, depending on how much they give.
Every
Right?
month?
Huh? Depending on how much you give, you mean, and then there's a difference between, okay, like, that's why we call it coffee money. It's not meant to be big. It's meant for somebody to just go and have, you know, go to nasi kandar, makan nasi kandar, that kind of thing. Of course, merokok, okay, Indonesia rokok. Indonesia they call it one rokok, okay. In Malaysia we call it big coffee. Yeah. But of course, our coffee we have milk in it, right? Susu kental in it. So that's why Malaysia become number one most obese in Southeast Asia. Indonesia one rokok, that's why Indonesia becomes number one cancer in Southeast Asia. That means see the whole language and the constructs of how embedded the construct in the everyday language, and then you have the outcome. One is fat, the other one is cancerous. The sister, the big brother is cancerous. And what? By the way, China is number one in Asia, obesity. You know that? China is number one.
It's a huge problem.
You must not see Chinese
They
obesity in here.
once those who come here, then you see.
Oh.
So that's why.
Yeah.
If you go there, you will see.
You see, yeah.
My friends so healthy.
Yeah, like Lambin, like model, some more, like model, metrosexual model.
No lah.
What's this Lambin? My God, you're very creative, very creative. Huh?
LV.
Oh,
The luxury.
Louis Vuitton.
Yeah,
Louis Vuitton.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Expensive lah.
Very stylish and yeah, very stylish. Yeah, it's good. So yeah, we're talking about obesity. So these are my comments. I just the practice I have is to go through the principles. Remember, I think you can give the principles. So we can heard it so many times, right? But I just want to stick to my
Share screen.
huh?
share screen. I should share screen so that
Apa?
the principles. I'll share my screen. Yeah.
Share.
Okay. So many of you have heard this many times, but rather not but.
Eugene is here.
Huh?
Eugene.
Oh, Eugene is here. Eugene, you're back in.
Eugene from China.
Eugene from China is back. Okay, Eugene.
It's in China.
You
He's
are
in
teaching
China
now?
now.
Where?
Ntar ke Prof.
Yeah. Oh, I actually have this one. Yeah.
Ininya apa?
Atau keyboardnya?
Okay.
Yeah, good. Hey.
Okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yes, okay.
Eugene, what are you doing? Eugene, are you asleep yet?
Kamu bisa.
It's already time for lunch.
It's time for lunch over there.
11:30 around.
In China, what time do you have lunch in China?
11:30.
11:30.
Yeah, it's the break of our work.
Okay, always a break at 11:30. Yeah.
When you go back, when?
Huh?
When you go back at what time? So how many?
Usually 1:30 or around 2. Yeah, then finish the work around 5 p.m.
So we have what, 2.5 hours of break.
Mm.
Wow.
Wow. With sleep.
And then they also nap, which is good. Sunnah.
Yeah.
It's a sunnah, by the way.
Right?
You know, Prophet Muhammad, he
Yeah.
naps.
Yeah.
He naps.
Yeah.
Prophet Muhammad, he naps. You know, he take naps. It's also in the hadith that encourages people to take naps. Right, Rahman?
Yes.
Yeah, sunnah. It's a sunnah.
Very important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If there's one.
That's why in Ghana, in our schools we have enough periods.
Nap.
Yeah. When you close from school, you go to hostels, nobody does anything. Everyone, lie on your bed.
That's
Take a
good.
rest.
Take a rest first. Yeah, it's good. It's good for health. I
Yes.
think
It's positive.
scientific research shows 68% it can reduce heart attack.
Yes.
68%, and no medication can do that.
Can help you.
Amazing, right?
Yes.
Sunnah, power of sunnah. Okay, so these are 12 principles. I think Hanif himself can give this he can talk about this because he has heard this, I think, dozens of times. That said, when the heat of the moment, many times that people tend to forget. So yes, the other day Samir forgets like 10 of these principles. Samir. But I just want to say, when we start with the golden heart, with God and good intentions in your heart. Because, we believe that we start with the right mental, emotional state, principle number 1. Inshallah, hopefully, the whole thing will become smoother. Instead of going in without, you might be nervous, it's fine. But the intention you can still have. You see? You can still be nervous. You can still have stress, but not too much, but it's okay. Normal to have the stress, but register, pasang that niat. Have that niat, that intention. I'm doing this for have good intention, Bismillah and all that. Why am I doing? Put in good intention, put in God in your intention. So inshallah, when you all deeds begin with a good niat. All deeds begin with niat. So we want to have good niat. Niat is intention in bahasa, by the way. So that's the first principle, right? Principle number two is sensing, right? Which is sometimes, but I think you're good at this, Annie, because you don't rush into things. People your intern friends say that you're introvert. Siapa kata Inayah ke bilang? Saya bilang. Rila, Rila bukan Naya bilang, Rila bilang. Introvert. So introvert tends to have much better sensing ability because they're not rushing to react, right? Don't ask. I might not have that one, but
Yeah, most of the times.
yeah.
Most of the times they are not
Reacting. Yeah.
Can be dying, suffocating here. They keep quiet.
Is that so? You're the roommate, you know. So the sensing part is important because you want to know when to argue, when not argue, when to change, when to change. You at that moment, right? And if you that moment you're asking, what is this examiner doing? What is the examiner desiring, right? That's the point you want to do, right? So that when Joanne is asking you, what is Joanne is asking? There are two things when the people ask. One is the information, the other one you want to sense is the emotion. And sometimes the emotion, not sometimes, most of the time, emotion is the one that frames the information. Right? Sometimes it's asking a simple question, they just want to have information, right? Sometimes they're asking a question, they're critiquing you, right? So the response is different when they critique, the response is different when they're asking for information, right? That said, if you're not sure, you can rephrase the question, rephrase the statement. Is this what you're asking? Is this what you want? Right? Am I correcting? Am I correct to answer? So you do not have to immediately react. You listen. You Stephen Covey says, seek to understand before to be understood. Is this what you're saying? That's a good one. And like what you said just now, can you make it simpler? That's a good one. You did ask that to Joanne, right?
Yeah.
That's a good way to handle this one. So you want to be clear about what is it that's been asked, right? What is it that's been done, right? So sensing is important. The wrong sensing sometimes become you get wrong reaction. The student I had last time in doing masters was the top student from UM. He was not sensing and he was giving people questioning him. He said, I'm a good student, Then he went bombarding in the wrong way, whereas it's a simple question of information. So that's principle number 2 when it comes to viva, when it comes to defense. Principle number 3, principle mighty coconut tree, right? This is the question of correct or not to correct, yeah. So I think when it comes to sensing, it's connected to principle number 3. This is example I have of my first student of mine who was doing masters as well, Malaysian, right? Now he's a lecturer now. So he was being bombarded left and right by the examiner. You should do this, you say, itu kelemahan saya. It is my weakness. It is my mistake. I will correct that. I'll take that. So but he was being bombarded by 2 women examiners, and he was studying on single mothers. And one of them is a single mother. Oh God! They were thinking, this is not how you define single mother. Single mother shouldn't be like this, right? So why do you take the government's definition of a single mother, not you? Yeah. So she said, "Oh, this is my weakness, my mistake." So the principle there is mighty coconut tree. You let them attack whatever they want to attack, right? Is coconut tree, when the big wind blows, it will come back, standing straight, standing strong, standing like a coconut tree. So let the wind blow if it's no or little impact. So now question is, when do you do the correction, right? The correction when you defend yourself is when they ask you to collect more data. That's where you stand your ground. Right? You got to use different strategies to stand your ground. Otherwise, if the correction is, you haven't covered this literature. Why don't you cover this literature? Don't you know this is important literature? I say, yes, it was my mistake. I will cover this. Literature is so easy to cover, right? The most is one paragraph, one page. You put it in, no problem, right? So it's a little impact. You take the hit, right? Even though the change is like 2-3 pages, it's okay. Let them make that correction. There's no problem. And examiners in Malaysia, well, not just in Malaysia, many other countries too, but Malaysia is like, they just want to be critical. They want to correct you. Yeah, and I told this story before to you, to everyone. Before, when I went for supervision, I will bring a list of corrections. I give my supervisor this is how I am to correct. So it's a riff. The examiners wants to correct you. So give them space for people to correct you, you know. So like, I'm telling him what to correct me, you know. What's the point there, right? But the good thing is, how thick is that's your thesis, right? That's good. So so this is the good thing. When you have thick thesis, you're letting them to correct you where you want them to correct, right? As I said, this is too thick, this is too much, this is not master's, is a PhD. You don't need this, you cut. Oh, that's good. So you let the enemy go in a place that you can let them be happy and get drunk, and you know they want to correct you, want to be critical, let them be critical in the space that they can be critical, right? This is the strategy of asymmetrical war, right? When the enemy has more power than you, you let the enemy attack, but let the enemy attack where you want them to attack, right? Not where it's important to you. So let them attack and give them space to attack, right? Otherwise, there's no space to attack. They feel that they are not being a examiner. In Malaysia, being an examiner, you have to be critical, you have to make corrections, you know. Stupid role, by the way. Not all of it, but still, seriously, I think Viva should not be like concentrating on corrections and examination, right? Viva should be an exchange of ideas, you know. But we have this idea of, you know, attacking, bombing missile and all that, right? So this is like US attacking you, you let them attack you whenever they want to attack, right? Let them attack. We play the small game, right? So let them attack when they want to attack until they get tired. Right? One of the Sun Tzu's Art of War, right? I don't know where Chinese Sun Tzu have different parts, all right? He says one thing, but this is a bit sexual, but I'm telling you this. Learn from the woman. Stand still and let the man get tired. Be still and let the man exhaust himself. And then the man will fall asleep after that. You know? So you don't have to do anything. Let them attack until they get tired. Then it goes. So that's a Sun Tzu strategy also. Okay, so that's the principle. But it's important, Hanif, to know when they want you to respond, when do you not want to. Which is going back to principle number 2, right? And I have told you all this. My first student from China, she was defending, she was arguing, she was debating throughout, right? All throughout. At the end, the examiner said, "Oh, she knows her stuff." Examiners complimented her because her energy and the energy of the examiners match. All right. If they want you to debate, you debate. If they want you to accept, you accept. Right? Because they are absolute kings and monarchs and emperor there, right? Right? They can just chop you if they want to, right? Anytime. Right. So right. This is how stupid this PhD thing is. It's a Western creation, by the way, right? But you all know that PhD is a stupid enterprise, right? You want to learn things, you do not have to do PhD, right? Or masters, right? You can learn by your own, but you are going to an academic field, you must have PhDs and masters and whatever else. That was my first video interview by one of my students. I told him that. Straight coming from me, right? So I told him, if you still have time, quit your PhD. Unless you need the PhD to get your academic qualification, advance in your academic career, yes, you need PhD. Otherwise, people will say, this guy doesn't have PhD and all that, you know. And people will talk about it behind you. We'll still talk about it in front of you. So that's principle coconut tree. Principle number 4, principle clarity. Principle clarity is this. I said use the rule of thumb. There are 3 things. 3 things about they ask you what's your theoretical contribution. You can immediately say 3 important things. I have several, but 3. 1, 2, 3. Tell me about your research in My research is about number one, my research objective. Number two, my key, my methodology. My research is about my key findings. You have that three. So it's always not necessarily. You don't have to have three all the time. You can have 4 or 5, right? But you do not want to have 10. It's too many to remember, and you don't have time to answer. So 3, 4, 5, the most 7, but I will not extend to 7. I will go up to 5 the most. Yeah, you can. And then in any of your parts that you want to explain deeper, right? Especially as it relates to your, if they do not understand, tell me about your inductive research. Inductive research, you need to understand the essence of inductive research and convey that. So the point number 2, the essences of your argument, the essence. So you always know what the essence of it is. So you can briefly and clearly and convincingly explain your thesis, your problem statement, your methodology, your key findings, your contribution. So you go in with those 3 or 4 or 5 points, right? Leah, you want to ask a question or just
No,
oh, okay.
just to relax.
I just realized. Okay. Right. So go back now. When you go back, you need to have those 3 for each of that. Your thesis, your problem statement, your methodology, your key findings, your contribution. Right? You have the 3, or 4 or 5, right? But not 10. So you say, I have 3 things to say about my thesis. 1, 2, 3, 3. So it sounds very convincing. You know your stuff, right? My problem statement, let me summarize in 3 points. 1, 2, 3. Right? So, okay. Number 5, principle of contribution to knowledge. This is fundamental. So you will need to have more than clarity about your contribution to knowledge. So if you talk about just now about structuration, you talk about the multi-centric model, you will need to have more in-depth explanation about that, and they will want to say how is it connected to the present literature or past studies. You will need to show them one. So you kind of explained it before, right? You talk about very state-centric, and you discover that something more than that is happening. You also talk about the Nusantarization of the space, right? Of the space. So we can see, even though within the Westphalian concept, there's still this Nusantarization of space, where they reenact or recreate, CLCs, language centers, and more importantly, they function more like perantau than migrant workers. So they transcend. You talk about those. So you want to be able to bring more and more to the more depth to your contribution of knowledge, right? So they are not just migrant workers; they are perantaus. So that's actually the other part of the Nusantarization construct, right? But they are being perantau, not just migrant workers. So they are not just here to work in factories or palm oil estates. They are here also as perantau with families, with children, and they are also being perantau. Perantau also known to be creative, known to be family oriented. You want to bring those things in, you can bring it. So that's number 5. Number 6, principle of reaffirming. This is about, again, when you're lost, you do not know how to answer questions, you can always bring yourself back to the center, which is the research questions. Research question is your compass, your thesis statement, and your research question. The thesis statement is the part that captures apa namanya, Indonesians say the red thread, right? Benang merah, right? I don't know why is it merah, why is it red? So the English would be the golden thread. For English, the synonym would be the golden thread. So I am making this argument that there is a new reality being constructed, which is a multi-centric model, which is outside of the whatever, right? Outside of the colonial, post-colonial world order, you know, that's your central argument. Yeah, which is what thesis is. Thesis is a extended version of the thesis statement, right? So, number 7, principle aligning and redirecting. This thing needs to be practiced more by us, you know. So, I see the other day Samir were violating this principle many times. So he was like going head to head in some instances, not all. So Samir being an Arab and all that, right? So words like but we don't use, right? You say and, right? Not but. We do not want to say that's a good question, but that is not. We don't say that. So that's a good question. That's an and you want to pause with and. The other one is aligning and redirecting. You know, the questions or the points that you feel that you want to give a contrarian view, right, or a different view, you just recognize the question or the comments, and give them proper recognition. There's an important question, there's an important comment, right? And the comment is about this, and this relates to my thesis, right? Right. And this is what I do. So notice I didn't use the word but there. This is what I do. In relation to the context of my research questions, I have addressed it this way. Your questions relate to this part. You recognize that one, right? So you never negate the examiner or the examiner's question or comments. You recognize it. Another thing is the word interesting is used too often. It doesn't carry a positive meaning. That's an interesting question, right? It sounds neutral to negative. It's like I want to disagree with you, right? But I'm going to tell you it is an interesting question. Replace the word interesting with important. That's an important question. So suddenly it's I'm asking an important question. Even though it's like I just thought about the question 3 minutes ago, right? It's an important question. So you recognize it's an important question. That's a relevant question. It's important question. You can find different synonyms with that, right? Important question, vitally important question, question of paramount important, whatever. Use different English there. So remove the word interesting, because interesting becomes a overused word or phrase rather, and becomes a phrase that people use to negate something. Interesting question, but should omit that one. Aligning and redirecting. Really, sometimes there's a suggestion, and if beyond the suggestion, like Joanne was saying, that imagine some other research that students have to do, right? You say, okay, there's an important part, there's important question, there's important comment to this research, and I've been thinking about that. So I've been thinking about that, and this is what I have done. I scope my question I scope my research. So you go to your scope of research and to your research question. So scoping the research question is another way to answer. My scope is this, and when the time comes, I will research even more. So you're recognizing the point, you're recognizing that. So you're not negating. That's important. So aligning and redirecting is actually like Tai Chi method, using the energy of the enemy to defeat the enemy, right? It's a Tai Chi. Number 8, principle of material preparation. Since you're going to be here, you have the advantage of having your materials out. Okay, so now I'm going to connect to the principle number 9, principle of presentation, but I will overlap both of them. Make a list of what you want to bring during the viva, right? Before the viva, of course. Make a list, and then Because on the day itself, you want to go through the checklist. I need to have my thesis, my pen, whatever, my laptop, print out, make a list, like a checklist lah, and then go through the checklist. So material preparation. I learned this from my father, who is also a military person. so have a checklist, because whenever when it's a fire drill, right? That's why fire they have a list. Apabila terbakar, when terbakar, whether you 1, 2, 3, 4, because you don't have the time to think, right? So the morning of viva, that's when the people get stressed out, want to wear what clothes, apa semua kan, you don't. So the checklist includes the clothes where you want to wear, you put it all ready. You want to shave your face, up to you and all that. You all have the checklist, tick, 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 go out. Now that connects to point number 9, which is principle of presentation. Principle of presentation. Just now your we noted about the length of your presentation, Hanif. If you want to sit, you find Hanif. If you want to sit, stand up. Okay. PowerPoint. Keep it short. Put it in extras at the back with some answers to the expected and unexpected questions. I think you have that. When make sure if you have extra slides, you put it back. You have extra slides, Hanif, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you have. You've been doing this many times, so you know this one. Now, about the time. So you can prepare for a 15-minute presentation, but you also prepare for a 10-minute presentation. So you have another slide that is 10 minutes. Just in case we have a very strict chairperson, right? Chairperson, no, 10 minutes only, right? So you prepare 15 minutes, you have 10 minutes. Right? If they say 10 minutes, you prepare 10 minutes. Right? Battery on. Okay. So, and then you prepare the handouts as well, handouts of presentation, right? So that gives you the leverage of referring to your handouts, even though without the slides. So a 10 minutes handout, you can still have a 10 minutes presentation, you can still have a 15-minute handout or 20-minute handouts. So that's the one. And then ultimately you'll be ready for verbal presentation. There are certain chairperson that say, okay, the examiners, just now, first round when you're not around, the chairperson say, I asked the examiners have read your thesis. So don't, we want to shorten the time. We just want to hear what your verbal presentation without the slides. That has happened before, seldom, but it has happened before, right? It's happened some very smart chairperson do things like that. So be prepared with that. That's why you will want to have the handouts in front of you, and you want to have the handouts so you can still prepare, right? You can still continue with that, and then you can, if the examiners are present, you can tell them, refer to first handout, refer to second handout. You can still do the presentation based on handouts, right? So you can outmaneuver them by all these little things. That's presentation. Number 10, principle of mastery projection. This is where has to do with your presentation. Just now you're doing the right thing by pointing and talking and explaining, right? Which is excellent, right? So you are not reading, right? You are not reading. You are looking at the table. You're explaining. That's the way to go. You have that strength. So use that strength, right? There are certain maybe some of you I will advise differently. But for you, Hanif, you have that strength. You stand up. You just explain, right? You can do that. But so do that now. Make sure you tag your thesis to know where your key pages are. Literature review, key figures. You tag and physically bookmark your key pages. So when somebody were to ask you something, you say, please refer to page 31, please refer to page 45. I've told you all this before. I have a student last time who actually memorized. Please see page 217, paragraph number 2. Examiners. This guy is something else. Now that person is already a professor in UKM, right? It's Novel Linden. That's the person. Yeah. So he memorized. Yeah. Tapi sekarang, tapi dia bukan orang Muslim tu. Bukan hafal Quran, right? But you can memorize. So you stand there, you speak like a politician. Semua like a politician. Serawakian, by the way, Serawakian. So he's a professor now in UKM. He might be your examiner too. One of your examiners. Might be one of the examiners, right? Because you've been taking him many times as your examiner. So, and he understands abductive research too, right? Because he was my student, so he understands abductive research. So, number 11, self-projection. So you have your jacket there, that's a good thing, but you don't have to. In USM, we can dress down. You don't have to dress up, but not t-shirt,
Yes.
not t-shirt. Yeah, I think you know, like Malaysian culture, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, but you can put a jacket, especially if the jacket you make you feel stronger, more powerful, more convincing, more confident. Go ahead. Oh yeah. That's why the military wears military uniform.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So the uniform gives them. Look at Prabowo, right? Right. That's what. Yeah. The makeup. That's what makeup makes women feel whatever lah. More confident, right? Okay, more confident.
Jokowi not strong.
Jokowi, his makeup is the unmakeup. That is his strength. The belusukan, the people's person. You know, I wear the checkered clothes. You know, it's a good strategy. You know, right? You know, I'm the people's person. I wear a 70,000 ringgit, 70,000 rupiah pants. Whom I bought from the pasar ikan or something like that, right? Yeah. And a lot of people believe him. Now the other part is fragrance, because I had one experience with one of my students. He or she, right, was walking from one of our dormitories all the way, right? The Bhakti area dormitory, by the way, all the way to the Viva. So when she or he arrived, right, I said, okay, please take my cologne and wear it because I can smell your sweat, man. I can smell your sweat. No, this is not good. No, I say that. I can smell because was walking from Bhakti, Malaysian hot weather, right? You be sweating and I can smell sweat. Okay, no. You put on this one. Yeah, you put on this my cologne, whatever. So, but I don't think Hanif has that problem. So you know, dressing up, dressing down. Again, you know the thing. But in Malaysia, we usually don't wear tie. But I told you all, I have one student, an Indonesian student, right? Wear tie, wear jacket. In the other room, he was in that room, the Nilam room. So but he's a communication lecturer, right? Communication lecturer. It's good. He's a communication lecturer. So the reports started up with number 3. After the Bible, he went number 2. So that's how good the communication is with his suit, his jacket, you know. Okay, good. So yeah, he's also a lecturer now in Jakarta, so in Indonesia. So it does make a difference. Yeah? I'm not telling you to wear suit and tie, Hanif, but I'm saying that if it makes a difference in the way you feel more comfortable, more powerful to communicate. I actually feel that way that's why you don't see me like this when I go abroad. When I'm in my conference, I wear suit and tie and all that, right? I actually took courses on powerful presentations. Now I'm a bit toned down because I'm not in the corporate world. Before I'm in the corporate world, my tie will have a cuffling here. Nambi, you know the tie? You know the tie with the cuffling?
Yeah.
Okay, coupling is here, right? Okay, coupling is here, right? But the tie can also have a coupling. So it's a next level tie. Next level tie. No, the coupling is like a golden ring here you put up here, right? Like a sign, something like that. So the tie stands up. It doesn't go this way, that way, right? I know people go clip, right? Tie clip. You have tie clip, you have tie coupling there. So it's like So it's still very manly, right? Not metrosexual. So it does make a difference. So if dressing up makes you more powerful, makes more persuasive, do that. Right? Some people do not feel that way. It's okay, right? Even Muzakir wears jacket last time. Muzakir, right? He wear tie. He didn't wear tie. I think Muzakir wear jacket. So it does make a difference sometimes. So that's number 11. Number 12, principle of threat avoiding. This has to do with I've seen one or two examiners ask this question. If you have a chance to redo your research, what would you do differently? Okay, do not answer that question, right? Because the question is a threat question, right? You said, okay, no, I find there's a mistake in my thesis. This is my mistake. Okay, you correct those mistakes. Yeah? You got to redo because you admitted the problem with your thesis, right? So, two ways you can answer that I get from my students. One is from that students from China last time, right? She was doing her masters, and the examiners asked her, how would you redo your research different your masters? Oh no, I don't want to do my masters. I have enough. I don't want to do it. I just want to go back and work. I don't want to do anything more. So that diffuses the problem. She did not answer the question, right? And then another one would be, given a chance, what would you do? You can say, this is for future research. Now, I actually identified the future research, which is in your recommendation, right? In your chapter 6, future research. So future research is safe, right? Research you can do outside of the country. Research you can do 10 years time. Longitudinal research, something that you do not have to go back and collect data. So that's 12. Because there's one particular examiner, I remember, he will continue to ask this question. How would you do this differently? Maybe because he did not reach the thesis. So he asked all this trick question. Tell me about your methodology. What's wrong with your methodology? He asked you to evaluate your methodology, and then you have to correct your own methodology. It's a trick. He suggests to me that he did not read the thesis. That's what it is. Number 13, principle of anticipation of points of challenge. This for this one, the points of challenge, like Joanne was pointing just now. There's some people who imagine something else, right? I've seen that one, including the tough part is choosing the people who are in your field, in the same village, doing the same research. That's the toughest one. They will come up with some kind of strange research, right? So one example I know, there was one student, not my student, another lecturer student, but I was the examiner, and then we had external examiner. She was studying one particular state in Malaysia, right? And then the examiner is from the same state, right? She was studying much more urban development. The examiner is from the more rural, right? So she said, your development is about rural, but why don't you also study rural development? But she was studying urban development, so it's out of the scope. So these are points of challenge that coming from the side, everything, it should be like this or not that. Those are points of challenge. And then points of challenge is also about things that we do not anticipate, right? So again, like we said just now, if you are not sure, you go back to the center, right? You say, again, you recognize the importance of that question and say, okay, this is how I've done my research. I scope my research this way, right?
Connect to the 13.
Yeah.
If the examiner asking, I think your data is not enough. You only interview this one. And you must be interview the others, like sekolah, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Not how they be answered.
Yeah, that's that falls under the coconut tree. This is where you got to defend, collecting more data, right? You do not want to collect more data. That becomes a number 4, right? Not 3, not 2 anymore. 4 as in 4. Resubmission, collecting more data, resubmission. So how you answer Hanif on that one? Collecting more data. Your data is not enough.
Maybe because some lecturer think that qualitative. Only qualitative, no
Quantitative.
adaptive lah, inductive lah.
Betul. Yeah. I've seen that one. I've seen that early my years of examining. Yeah.
Yeah, like, because my topic only focusing on the particular community learning centers. I'm exploring the CLCs institutions only, and that is why my methodology also only consists of the foundation of CLCs and foundation of CLCs. So I do not include the other models of institutions, including the Indonesian foreign school. Because I'm not studying about the Indonesian foreign school. I'm studying the CLCs.
Okay.
Coffee?
Remember the other suggestion lah, if you directly answer like that, I feel like you not receive my.
Yeah. You got to align and redirect more than that. Yeah. You want to ask what type of data you're suggesting. You know, clarify further what data you're suggesting. Yeah. Clarify further that question. Yeah.
I'm not studying here.
Yeah. Clarify further. Yeah. Like what you did just now. Can you clarify? Can you more? Yeah. Clarifying actually helps. With which is what Chandran was doing. Remember Chandran, right? She was re-asking the question to the examiner. Can you ask that question again? And this, by the way, debate strategy, you know. And then once they repeat the question, it tends to be a different question. Especially it's a long question, right? It's a long question. If it's not a long question, yeah. If it's a long question, blah 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 blah. The repeat becomes a different question, yeah, or simpler question, yeah. It's a debate strategy, and then that gives you time. You buys time for you to answer. So it's a debate strategy. Yeah. Can you clarify over that? So you let them ask and
While you're processing.
yeah, while you're processing. That's right, Raman. While you're processing it. So this is the method. So you want to clarify. You're not sure what data. You know, you go back to that one, right?
Ready.
So, okay, where's that? Without this is the preparation slides I was talking about just now. Yeah. All right. Okay. Anyone else has any comments? Yeah, suggestions? Yeah, Leah, please.
Reevany, I have a question that you gave Hanif a choice about the sequences. About first, carry out the theoretical contribution, then second, explain more findings to support the theoretical contribution. So since the time is limited, during the presentation, my question is I should talk more about the theoretical contribution or about the findings.
Okay, findings, yeah. The answer to that is depending on how thick or how much key findings and theoretical contributions you have, right? So if you have a lot, then package your key findings to support your theoretical contribution. You know what I'm saying? So you have three theoretical contributions, but you have a lot of key findings, for instance, right? So instead of talking about key findings and then theoretical contribution, you put your key findings to support your theoretical contribution, right? So that will save some time because your theoretical contribution is actually coming from your key findings, connecting to the theoretical world, basically. Right, so you could do that too. Yeah, you could do that too. So and you can explain that I combine my theoretical contribution together with my key findings, and this is how I will present and format it in my presentation. It's fine too, right? So and you're not omitting the key findings. You still have the key findings, but you're combining it. So the issue is time, really. The issue is time. If you have more time, you can just separate it because you want to show that you have very rich database, and you have, because of that, you have a lot of good findings, and then you have theoretical contribution. Usually theoretical contribution is not as much as or as many as
your findings, right?
Yeah, and it's important. The examiners seems take more care about the theoretical contribution.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. Yeah.
PhD.
For PhD.
Level is small.
Yeah, they care so much, but usually the theoretical contribution is 1 or 2, not too much. But the findings, it depends on the research questions. It should be more than 3 about.
Yeah, depending on the research, right? Yeah, yeah. And again, it depends on the time given. But you basically have more or less the same time. But your findings can be a lot, especially like you're doing abductive research. Your case is doing retroductive.
Yeah, right.
Retroductive present. I drink this coffee with the beans. So
Recipe.
yeah, serbuk, powder rather. So retroductive, you want to present it, the retroductive way, which is somewhat different from this method, because you have the transformation occurring, right? Yeah. So Hanif, I do think that you are, your thesis is strong. You have, for masters, this is actually beyond masters already, right? Yeah. And how many pages you have, Hanif?
300 plus.
Excellent.
PhD level lah.
There's already PhD level there. Yeah. So yeah, I think what's her name? Yefeng has 500
Yeah.
pages or something like that. Yeah. She was worried. This is good. So you have something real strong. You have solid research because you went to all the way to Sabah to collect data, all the way to all the plantations to collect the data, right? Your unit analysis are basically the CLC, but you are interviewing more people in each CLC, right? So yeah, you have that, and at the end you produce a model, which is a form of theoretical contribution, a model that extends or challenges. That's the contribution of knowledge that you make, right? And you have policy recommendations too, right? If you do not have enough time, you can bring the policy recommendations after that, unless it's part of your research question. I'm not sure. I forgot now. No, it's not. Right? Yeah. So you can bring it to after. Thank you. Join Nganto. You guys from our intern students, yeah, Rajin, very hardworking, come here. We already closing already come here. Okay. Hopefully, yeah. This is a. Last time you came for supervision. Oh no, Jane supervision, right? Yeah, yeah. Big difference, right?
Progress report.
I know, yeah. Progress report.
But this is supervision.
The progress report.
Skripsi dan tesis.
Yeah. So and then you're also looking at master's level now. So master's level.
Reevany bareng-bareng.
Yeah.
Personal.
Yeah. So we do team sharing. Yeah. I did more one long time ago, but I thought not as effective as group. And then you can all learn from each other. You can contribute ideas. There are things that I cannot see that some of you saw. Like what Joanne was asking, like what Daniel was asking just now about the role. That's a common, what is it? A common perception. Where's Kejari in this whole thing, right? Daniel, you asked something, Daniel, just now.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Rahman, you asked something? You didn't ask anything, right?
Yeah, I didn't ask, but I think when I met him during the first time he was practicing, exactly, I told him the research problem, that chapter 1 and 3, the time he spends, I also talk about it.
Yeah,
It's too much.
Too much, yeah.
It's too much.
That's right. I think it's, at first Hanif's research can be upgraded to PhD, but IPS changed the rules. Yeah, make it. You got to have whatever level before you. I think
your CGPA has to be what 3.75 or 3.8 or
First
so.
class. First
Huh?
class.
First class, whatever, crazy. So they didn't have that ruling, and they come up with a new ruling. They keep on changing the rules, thinking that it's a smart thing to do. Not a smart thing to do. They think they're increasing the quality.
Yes.
They think that's what they're doing. So it's like during their time, it's not that tough. They make it tougher to people, and they're proud of it. Yeah. Okay. Anyone from our online folks? Who's there? Who's still here? Is anyone here?
Yeah.
Is it just now was what? Kai Lai, Eugene. Oh, Changjian. Now Jane is there. Kai Lai, how are you, Kai Lai? When are you coming here, Kai Lai?
I will arrive at the end of July.
July?
Yes.
End of July. Okay, end of July.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
We'll see you again. You're back in China or still in Japan?
I'm in China now.
I'm in China now. Okay. You're at home. You're at home?
Sorry?
It looks like at home.
At home, yeah. Look, you're at home now, right?
Yes, at home. At home.
At home, okay.
Yeah.
Somehow that looks a bit like Japan.
Huh?
The door, right?
The same.
The same door, right? Okay, yeah. Looks a bit like Japan, and squeezed and all that.
Jen, why can wear so much?
Jane, is it snowing in Sabah?
Wearing the coat.
Huh?
No, put mute. Just mute.
Is it snowing in Sabah?
It's snowing, yeah.
Inside the office.
Oh, I said, oh, wow, okay. Is that real or AI or something?
Yeah.
Huh?
It's real.
Your apa namanya? Your mic is not the mic. Your mic. Your microphone.
Mute. You are still muted.
Still muted.
Let me send a message to her by WeChat.
It's
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah. To have a sign for muted, yeah.
I'm in Sabah.
Yeah, in Sabah already, okay.
Yeah, this is my office.
What's
So,
is that the window is like shows like it's autumn or something like that?
No, it's real.
Huh?
The
Autumn.
color is not true. I
Fall.
will show you the real color.
Fall season.
The window. The window glass.
好像夏天的了，啊
Now,
Right.
behind the
Okay.
window.
Okay. I thought
Glasses.
it's autumn, like
Seems like
autumn
I'm
is
in
what?
Japan.
不是夏天了，不是夏天。
Autumn,
秋天。
秋天。
Autumn 那不是秋天，fall is what? In Chinese.
Yeah.
秋天。
秋天。
Autumn,
No.
秋天。
Fall. 秋天是 spring.
No, spring 春天。
春天，对，
春天
春天
yeah.
春天 ，OK。春天，OK，对。Okay, yeah, it looks like it's fall or autumn, because the leaves are red and.
I can change the weather. I can change the
You can
season.
change the window, yeah. That's why I thought it's like some kind of AI screen at the back, right? AI screen. Okay, all right. Okay, good to see you, Jane. Right. Okay, Eugene is
Good
still
to see you
asleep.
again.
Okay.
Eugene.
Eugene is still asleep. He's still asleep there. Still asleep.
Eugene is tired after discussing with Dr. Ong.
After lunch. No, after his presentation. After on Bangkok. After on Bangkok.
Pressure.
Pressure. So good. Okay, we will adjourn. We will meet you all again. I'll be away in Indonesia next week. Yeah. I don't go anywhere else nowadays. Yeah, unless there's some special invitation and all that. They want to crown me as a king or something. I will go there. But in Indonesia, I'll be in Padang. Padang in Jakarta. Yeah, makan Padang nasi kapau. They say kapau. Okay, we'll see again. We'll meet again on the 22nd. That's Hanif's Viva.
Oh.
22nd. Yeah. Yeah, the name's so after this Viva, he will be doing the supervision. Hanif, you'll be doing supervision, Hanif, after this. Because he has sat through so many supervision, right? So you might as well be the one that is doing supervising. Yeah.